Hello, guys. Uh, Thank you for joining me tonight. Finally, I bring to you our core system. That is our system for schools, which is called LearnsoftERP. This ERP has been deployed in more than 40 schools, both in a ratio of 70 to that we have uh, secondary schools and primary schools respectively having installed this particular system. So today I chose to bring to you just a demo of how the system works. Remember that this system has about 5 core modules, which include the admission module, the finance module, the examination modules, the non-teaching staff, and the bulk SMS modules. These modules can be sold together separately or a single unit, depending on the capacity of the school, what they can be able to afford. So let us start from the very beginning, where we shall get us started. So I believe that we are ready and excited as I take you through uh, the the system. So as I said earlier, our systems have the same kind of menus, and even when it comes to the interface, we have made it unique such that uh, it doesn't seem to be far away from what we have. So as you can see, the interface is similar to what I showed you some time back about the Topos system, which is a point of sale system. So we are using the same logic in this particular area. So today I choose to show you the school ERP. So walk with me as I show you through. I walk you through. So I'll start by logging in, as it's always a norm because any system has to be locked uh, to avoid and to give accountability to everyone accessing the system, and even to secure the system. It is very important that you lock the system such that any person who wants to access the system must be authorized through a username and a password. So that's what I'm going to do, whereby I need to enter my username. That is my username, and my password. Very simple password, yet it should be at least 8 characters. Have a capital letter, lowercase, a special character for you to be allowed in. So we have the admin account, which I'm logging in as the admin. So with this account, I'm allowed to access every module. So once I have entered my details correctly, I'll be taken to the home page. But now I've chosen to enter a wrong password. So it will say that credentials entered are wrong. So as you can see there, you require to enter correct credentials. That is username and password. This should be very correct. So let me enter the right one, as I have just entered the wrong password. I'll enter the right password right now. And then I press login, or else I can press enter just to be allowed in. So let me press enter and then see what comes in. So this will load the home page or the landing page for the school system. As you can see, it's a very attractive kind of interface. This is just the basic information of what the system is all about, whereby in a nutshell, it has these modules: admission module, financial module, examination module, non-teaching staff module, and there are other sub-modules. As you can see here, we have not included the bulk SMS, which is basically a module that allows school to send results to parents or guardians, and also communicate key important things to the parents. The bulk SMS is a very key feature in our system because most of the schools have liked the feature. We're moving away from the hard times of typing a message to all parents, one after another. But in our case, we just write a single message and send it to all parents. It could be all the parents, or it can be a particular class or a particular stream, depending on the kind of communication you want to make. So the bulk SMS is very key when it comes to communicating or passing information from the school to the guardians who are at home. So let me talk more about the interface. This interface is very collapsible and very friendly. As you can see, we have the top icon here. In here, once I click, it allows me to collapse, to expand this particular main panel and collapse these ones because these are subs. As you can see, against each we have the icon. So if it collapses, then it leaves the icons visible, but it hides the text. So if I click here, then as you can see, the text is hidden, but the icons have been left visible. In other words, it has just expanded the main section and collapsed the leftmost panel. So if I click again, it expands. So this interface is very friendly and collapsible, as you can see. So I'll start by going to the general settings. So the general settings, tab number 1, because we have a number of tabs cutting across the settings panel. Remember that the settings is the basics for every for the start. It's a starting point for the system because you have to set a few things for you to get started. So in that case, the tab number 1 allows you to change maybe password of the user who is logged in, or you can even create other users since you have the admin controls. So this means that I can access all the users and all the panels as I am logged in as admin. So in this case, if you want to change the current account's password and username, then you have to fill this. Enter the username, old password, and the new password. Then you click change password. On the other side, then you can be able to create a new user whereby you define the type and then you fill the details and then register an account. So tab number 2 is setting school profile. Remember, we have made our system very dynamic such that if you just want to change maybe then some few things in the system, you just come to the school profile tab whereby you require to change. Well, just a reminder that in this particular case, I'm showcasing my system using one of our clients who is located in Mandera County. It is called Banisa Mixed Day Secondary School. So this is one of the schools we have had as our client. It is very far from Nairobi County. So with a population of close to 800 students, then it stands a very good position. And I chose it that I can take you through the system. So if you want to change the settings of the school, then you can just adjust this. So if you don't want to use Banisa Mixed Day Secondary School, then you can customize your name as required. So here you'll enter the school name. We have the school motto. I think every school has their own motto. So you can specify your motto over there. Then postal address and then contact. If it's an email address or it could be a phone number, then you're good. You can enter any of them. Then on the right hand side you have the logo because every school has their own logo. Remember, these are the kind of all these details will be appearing in different reports which are generated by the system. So you need to specify and enter the right details for your school. So because every school at least has to have these, then these are the fundamental kind of fields which should be filled before you continue. So this is very easy. Just set the school and get started. All right. Number 3 tab talks about examination settings. In our case, we know that schools have different types of grading. They have types of different types of grading their marks and grading students across the streams. So in this case now you need to set your grading system. As you can see here, we have point 1 to point 13, whereby 13 has just 0 all the way to around 12 points, which are the maximum. That means a constant. So basically, this is how you set. Once you are just allowed to set the lower and upper end because these are predefined. So in our case, if for example 12 points, which is a constant, starts from 80, then you can set 80 to maybe 101. We are saying 101 because a grading system will if you set 101, then it knows it the maximum is 100. So this is the upper end, this is the lower end. Upper end again, this is the lower end for a minus all through to the last grade. And that in that case, then you'll be able to have your exams analyzed according to your grading system. So this is a very overall grading system. This is the overall grading system. Then again, there are schools which grade their science subjects differently. Science subjects here meaning we can talk about biology, we can talk about physics, we can talk about chemistry. These might be graded differently because of a few elements here and there. So the same way you're doing with the overall grading system, so you do the same in science subjects grading system, just entering the lower end and upper end, which is defined in your grading system for sciences. So the other tab, just we are in examination settings tab. The third tab on the same is a general subjects grading system. So general subjects can be English, maybe CRE, it can be history, all that. These are graded maybe differently. If you have a totally different type of grading, then you can be able to enter those particular um, points and marks accordingly. So remember, every tab has it's explained on how you can do that, and it's very simple and straightforward. So the same way you once you update you update your figures accordingly, then you click here update general grading system settings. So the other tab is mathematics. There are schools which grade mathematics differently. So the same way, just enter your lower end and upper end kind of markings and then click this button, update mathematics grading settings. So the last tab on examination setting is the school subjects. Well, talking of Kenya, we have very many subjects. And in this case, we talk about optional subjects and those which are mandatory. They are well known by the schools. So in this case, once you specify the subjects which are done in your school, then the system will have its own way of analyzing and giving feedback to the in the final exams once students do exam and during grading. So in this case, if you want to change, maybe we know that English is compulsory, Swahili is compulsory, mathematics is compulsory. Maybe if biology is not compulsory, I don't know. You just click on, if you want to change and modify that it's not done, then you click on this particular tab. It populates these fields. If it is chosen, then you can only change this. If you change to not done and update the subject, then it shows you the feedback. It has been set to not done. But in my case, I'll choose biology as a done subject. So I'll revert back to done and update the system. So in this case now, you can change any figure, any subject by doing what I've just shown across the 13. I've indicated 13. There are schools is more than that. So in that case, we'll always consider to have them in place. So that is it about the examination settings. Now we go to class subjects, teacher settings. Remember, every subject has its own teacher who does teach the subject. So in this case now, depending on the number of streams, you are here to set all that. In Banisa Mixed, I can see they have 3 streams for each class. As you can see, we have Form 1, Form 1, Form 1. So that means it's stream A, B, C, A, B, C for Form 2, A, B, C for Form 3, A, B, C for Form 4. So these are about how many classes? 12 of them. That is 3 times 4 gives us 12. So in this case, you have to specify the initials for the teachers in each subject. So in this case now, these values will be used during a production of a student report card. So if it is from one, then you have to specify the teachers for English, Kiswahili, and other subjects, and then the overall class teacher name should be in full. So this will be printed in the report cards generated, and also in the maybe marking schemes, not marking schemes, but merit lists, which are generated from the examinations module. So that is it about the settings. So now the last tab talks about cards and main exam settings. So as I said before, each school has its own way of grading students, and most of the times we'll talk about maybe cards. So maybe there are schools which do cat one, cat two, and then merge the main exam into two. So in this case, we'll be able to specify out of what do you analyze your cat one? Do you analyze your cat two and then main exam? So in that case, you'll be able to change the details accordingly and then update the details for the cat and main exams. So in that case, you're good. So that is all about general settings. And once you set all that, then it is one time kind of thing, unless maybe you change maybe class teacher where you need to update the class teacher, you need to update the subject teacher. So those are one time kind of settings, and you don't need to go there each and every day to update the settings. So number two tab is admission model. So admission module is very key because this is where we capture the details of every student. Every student details should be captured in the admission module because this will enable us to show who is currently in which class, which stream, and all that. So as you can see here, I have field details for the first student. This loads the details as they are in the system. So the way you fed them is how they will populate here, but you can sort them, you can generate a lot of reports from the admission module. So admission module is a comprehensive kind of module which captures the details of a student, and it is very key. Once you omit, you don't capture the student here, then it means that student will not be appearing in none of the reports. Maybe examination, maybe finance will not be able to be seen. And if a student is active, then you must make sure that this button is active. Otherwise, it will not appear, because if it is transferred, a student is transferred, then it means it can only remain in the database, but you'll not be very active when it comes to maybe you want to feed the marks for that particular student. So for all students who are active and they are in school, then this data should be active. Once you fill all these details, remember we are capturing full name, admission number, date of birth, gender, class of admission, and all the other details which are necessary, and also the photo for the student. As you can see, here are the buttons. You can enroll, you can update, you can create new student, you can clear the data. If I clear the data, then you can see it is cleared. So I can do the first record. This will load the first student record. As you can see, it has loaded. If I do last, then it loads the last student in the database, irrespective of the class, irrespective of the stream. It will load the last student who was entered in the stream. This shows me around 817. So we have a record of 817 students in this school. That's one of the highest numbers of students were sold this particular system. This system is very good because it helps and it saves teachers a lot of burden of analyzing marks, marking them, and there are very many human mistakes when it comes to manually marking the, 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 the student performance. And again, when it comes to maybe analyzing the results, there are a lot of errors which come in. And remember, when you are grading students based on their performance, then a single mistake made on a particular a student's marks, then it means you'll be required to restructure all the merit list again and rearrange. But in our case, once you update n marks for the student, then the system will be able to sort that within no time. So one advantage with the system is that it sort you a lot of stress of and avoid human errors. It also saves you time because in most of the schools we've heard that it takes them around 3 to 4 days to analyze these marks. But in our case now, it just if you've entered all the marks correctly, then it's just a click of a button and you're sorted. All the marks are placed correctly, and then you are able to produce the report cards and generate the merit list, which otherwise would consume a lot of your time. So if I go to the first record, this is the first record. I can be able to navigate from first and second. So as you can see, the photo is changing. I've added a few photos just to show the effect of maybe if every student has their own kind of photos, then it will be seeing a change of interface. As you can see here, it's going changing. So basically, that's how it is, and I can promise you that this system will sort you a lot of stress in marking and analyzing results for students, especially if the number is so large. Then you'll have your time spared from being wasted. So that's it about this particular tab. When you are admitting a new student, you admit from this particular tab. All right, now let's say that you have admitted all the students in your school. The next part in the admission student in the admission model is basically sometimes you might need to reproduce reports now from the admission model. It's basically the details of admission, which includes maybe names, classes, where they are. So our system is very perfect in coming up with comprehensive reports. Especially, let's do class list. I'll choose form 2, just random. And then now, form 2, once I click there, it gives me a record of 117 students. So if I want to maybe produce a report, a class list for that particular class, then I'll click here. Remember, I've not chosen any stream here. So in this case, it will generate the merit list form 2, all of it, irrespective of the stream. So let me try to print one, print class list. So this should give me a PDF report. Let's see what to print here. It should be, yeah, as you can see, my report is here. Just a click of a button and everything is in place. So this is it. Let's see. This is a PDF. Now we should note that this is what we've captured. These are the details of which are captured at the very settings tab. As you can see here, we have the details of school, everything we have filled, and the names arranged in a very chronological order, and it gives you an extra 2 columns. If you want to feed anything in them, then you are good to go. So this is a sample merit list or class list, I mean, for that, and then it gives you the date or when it was generated. So that's it for the report, which is coming from the admission module. So if you want for a stream, then I can choose stream A. So it will give me a class list for form 2 stream A. So it has 58 pupils. So if I click print again, I will get a report, PDF report, yeah, with 58 students. So as you can see here, everything is, this is form 2A class list. So our reports are very dynamic and very professionally done. So that's all about class lists. So sometimes now you can talk about admission slips. Admission slips, it's basically more detailed. So if I choose form 1 for admission slips, I can generate a report for for this. Maybe active students, maybe those I can filter by date of admission where I can generate a report still. So in this case, if I choose from one, remember this is a day school. As you can see, the mode here is not changing. All the students are they go in the morning and go to school in the morning and go home in the evening, so they don't spend in school. So in this case, then I can be able to print the admission slips. Remember, an admission slip will entail um, more details, all the details of the student into one. So if I choose, let me choose a student here, the first one. Let me try to see. First student, no, I'll do the second one, who is 1032. So if I go to my admission module, admission slips and choose 1032, sorry. Let me choose 1032. So remember, you can be able to search using any of these fields. So 1032, I have my student there. So once I click print slips, let me see. I should get a report of that particular student. Yes. Now, as you can see here, this is an admission slip for my student. It has all the details which have been fed. So receiver ID, student full name. As you can see, this is a full name, admission number, gender, date of birth, class, class stream. This is stream B of Form 1. Then mode, KCP marks if they were entered correctly, and the parents of guardian information still it's in place. So then here you can do a signing. So this is where a student can declare. Most of the schools will admit that you declare and you sign, and then for official use only, now the school will stamp and make their own signature in that particular case. So this is a one-page kind of document, as you can see, and it is kept in the files for the student. So this report is very good, especially when it comes to retrieving details for that particular student when they got into school and all that. So that's it. So if you choose from one, the all of it, then it means you'll get all these pages, around 183 pages in one single PDF. So if you choose to print a particular for a particular student, then you can narrow down by entering the admission number for that particular student. So the same way you can export the list. If the list is very long, you can export it to Excel for maybe analysis and comparison. So the other tab here, the other button is printing student list. So let me print what you can see. Let me print. This is a student list. Now, with this, it means that you have many of them into one, which have the key fields. As you can see, we have admission number, student name, gender, class, stream, mode, KCP marks, average, house, if they are sleeping within the school, and then the status. So this is a general kind of report, but it is very comprehensive, as you can see here for the purposes of maybe analyzing and even knowing which student is in which particular class. So as you can see, the list is very long with 183 students in it, and specifying who is in which stream. So that's it for that particular case. Then the third and the last part for the admission module, it talks about promotion of student to next class. Remember, at the end of every year, some students leave the school and others join the school. So in that case, now I've given a very chronological way of maybe exiting, making sure that the students' class do not merge together. So in that case, you start by clearing form 4. Then you move from 3s to form 4s because now form 4s have left. You clear form 4s. That means that the status is changed from maybe a class to exited. Then you move from 3s to form 4, then form 2s to form 3, and then form 1s to form twos. So in that case, now you leave Form 1 blank to admit the new students who are joining the school. So that's a very chronological way of admitting and promoting students to the next class, such that you don't merge names together, and then which can bring a lot of problem. So that's it. You start by doing it the way it has been structured. The top, Form 3 to Form 4, Form 2 to Form 3, Form 1 to Form 1, and then you admit new students. Well, that's it about the general settings and an admission model. So since I do not want this video to take a very long time, then I'll stop at that point, and in the coming video I'll explain more about the remaining kind of modules. Please stay tuned, because this is one of the best opportunities to see how our examination system, our school system is able to even sort your problem at where you are. Remember, this system will cut across every other part. It will just fit categorically into your school. So if you purpose to buy it, then I'll be uploading this particular video in our YouTube channel for you to watch, and even get in touch if you're interested. Thank you so much. This is Jared Monduka for LearnSoft Value Tech Solutions, and thank you for listening to me, and have a nice time. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.